Hello, hello. I just woke up from at 7 from my nap. It's a very long nap. Yeah, I was thinking about taking a nap myself. If you guys have any art-related questions, I'm willing to answer any of those as well. I might start a poll up in a minute. Hello, Anthony. How are you? Hello. Welcome, welcome. Hello. How is everybody today? That's good, Adriana. I'm gonna start up a poll here for anyone else that is joining. I'm just working on the sidewalk area in the meantime. I'll probably switch over to the grass again to add some more depth into it. I want to add a little bit more shading and maybe a few more plants in that area. But for right now, I'm just working on the sidewalk. If you're new to my channel and this live stream, I'm working on an Alice in Wonderland themed illustration. I've been working on it for maybe a few weeks now. Yesterday I went live for maybe like 3 hours and I gained 6 more followers. So we're almost at 960 right now. We're getting closer to 1K. I'm thinking about doing something fun for next live stream. Maybe taking a little break from this illustration for a bit. I don't know, guys. Maybe. I finally got one of my live streams uploaded from yesterday, so if you haven't seen the live stream from yesterday and if you're interested in it, you can go watch that. It's on my page. It's kind of a longer live stream, but you can just see and just watch, just to see where I was at before. Only if you're interested. Hello, hello. There might be a little bit of background noise, so I apologize for that. Alright, I think I have most of the sidewalk covered. I'm gonna fix this area a little bit. And I'm going to start on the shading. Probably do a little bit of a darker color. Let's see how that looks. All right. I think I'm going to use a different brush for this area, just so I can get it covered good. Let's see how blending works. I hate when I switch to a different brush. Sometimes the brush just goes really big on me. I hate it so much. Go a tad bit lighter. There we go. This area is probably going to take the longest, I would say. I'm not exactly sure if I should color in between, but it would definitely look better like that. I'll add some shading over here first. Alright, I'm gonna bring my pencil graphite brush back. I'm gonna leave tiny little gaps in between just to show that there's light hitting it. I also don't want my brush to overlap. That tends to make it look a lot more sloppy. Sometimes I hate when I add a lot of details like this because it does take the longest to color, but it's worth it in the end and it's fun, so. I'm also maybe going to add a certain filter over this just to make it look like it's blending in a little bit more. And I'm actually going to test that out now. So I kind of like how that looks. But let's look at some of these. This app gives off the vibe where these are pictures inside pictures. You mean the app I'm using? Cause yeah, I can definitely see that. I think I might use this filter for this. It just looks more natural in a way, but it also kind of reminds me of when you go to the beach and the sun is like hitting the sand and you see the water just reflecting off of it. I can kind of see that a little bit with that. If we did the lighter color filter, it doesn't necessarily fill in these parts, but it makes the lines a little bit darker, I believe. It's hard to tell on camera, but you can tell this side's definitely more darker than that side. I think this one kind of looks good too. I don't know, some of them look good. But yet again, I'm also going to add some more shading in this area, or on the stones, and I might add some grain texture to the stones as well. We'll keep this for now, but I'm going to continue. I think this is my first time drawing a path like this, especially stone, I believe. So this is a little bit challenging for me. I think that looks pretty cool. What do you guys think? I mean, I'm going to add some more texture to it so it doesn't look so solid, but I think it looks good so far. I'm gonna work on this little area over here. It's kind of harder to tell that color, that brownish color, in this smaller area, but I'm gonna add it just in case. And I could always go back and put some more over it if needed. Alright, so I'm gonna start adding some shading and stuff. We're going to put that over there, and I'm going to start a new layer for the shading. We can probably go a little bit lighter for that. Alright. So what I like to do for shading is I like to shade a little bit around it. I could probably do a little bit more than that though. And I like to leave a little bit of that normal color in it. And see how that looks when it's blended out. And that just makes a big difference. I might do this on some of them, probably not all of them throughout, but we will see. We'll see. But it definitely makes a huge difference. Probably use some more on that. See, I'm already in love with that. So beautiful. I'm just gonna add some of the colors here, but I'm not gonna blend it out exactly yet. Actually, I'm just gonna experiment with another color here. Let me see what that looks like for a second. Sometimes I like to add a blue color or a purple for shading. It just makes it look better in my opinion. Like for this, for example, I added I think like a bluish gray for shading on his coat. It makes it look better. I don't necessarily do that with the skin as much because, I mean, I did a little bit with hers, but sometimes it makes it look like they're bruised up and stuff, and I don't like that look. I don't think anyone would. But I'm gonna try this navy blue color and see how that looks. See, that definitely looks a lot better than the gray in my opinion. It just makes it look, I don't know, it pops out more. I'm gonna keep this navy blue for the rest of these. And I'm just gonna put this around the stones. I'm not gonna blur it out or anything, blend it yet. And then after this, I'll try to add some grain texture to it. Might be a little bit too big. Trying to get the perfect amount of this color on here. It's probably good. I think I might have made this a little bit too light. I know sometimes I might lean on my iPad and I tend to move some of the tool things down here. We're getting there. I'm definitely gonna have a lot of blending to do. There's a hair on my screen. We're almost done with this side of the sidewalk here. And then obviously this area is gonna take not even a minute. It's very small. and then I'm gonna move on to this area. I'm probably not going to blend the colors out over here, only because it's a smaller area and, you know, from far away, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just gonna keep it like that. Alright, so I'm gonna start blending some of these stones out. And I usually use a blur brush for blending. I know in some art apps there is a blending tool, but I use IBS Paint, and I don't think there's a blending tool. But either way, I think the blur brush does the job. Some of those don't need to be blended out too much, but I think it looks cool so far. I'm going to try to add some texture. But I'm going to use a different brush for that. I think I'm going to use this brush here. I'm just gonna add some of that around there. Let's see if I can do a different color. And then I'm just gonna add just a tad bit over here. I don't think it matters too much, because yet again it's far away, so. You can't see it too much on camera, unless if you zoom in a little bit. But I just wanted a little texture on that. I'm gonna erase whatever I hit with that. There's a lot of birds tooting outside my window. I think this week, or this upcoming week, it's supposed to get really hot, which I'm definitely not ready for, but it's supposed to get up in the 90s, I believe, like 94, 95. And don't get me wrong, I love summer, but hot weather like that, sometimes it's annoying. And I think that is it for that area. I'm gonna see what it looks like with some moss and maybe plants coming in through the cracks. I like to use a watercolor brush for this, or sometimes an oil pastel. I think we'll use this. So we're gonna do maybe, I want to say a lighter green, but that's probably not going to show up. So we'll try a dark green. It just doesn't look. I'm just adding a little bit of moss on the sidewalk here. I'm probably just gonna keep it at that too, because I don't want too much to cover it. But I'm going to add some plants in this area. We'll do I did want to keep this plant, but I also think there should be some bushes as well. Although there's this, I still have to work on. We'll just keep that there for now. Let's see. I'm gonna merge this down. We'll just keep it there for now. I'm going to start working on some more plants in this area. If not, then I'm going to start working on the grass a little bit more. Alright, so I'm going to find my graphite pencil. It's a bit too big. It's also a little bit too bright as well. Alright, so we're gonna start drawing some plants. Let's see how that looks. I think drawing plants and flowers is probably one of my favorite things to do. It's just very fun. Hello, Bill. Welcome to the live stream, and thank you so much. I'm just gonna add a little bit of plants by the trees as well. A little bit of grass. How long have you been drawing? Well, I would say I've been drawing pretty much my entire life. I started digital drawing in 2023, and this piece so far has taken me a few weeks so far. Only because I've been procrastinating a little bit, but I've been drawing pretty much my entire life. It's just something that is very fun to me and relaxing. You're really good. Thank you, Bill. Thank you. I definitely want to add some more plants, but I'm going to maybe stop that for a minute. Just pause it. I'm gonna work on the grass for a little bit, I believe. Just add some more shadowing and stuff. I'm going to add a little bit of shading over here. I feel like it's just a little bit too light. It's really good to make sure you're adding shading, especially underneath people. For instance, like her, she's kind of pretty much floating, if you want to say that, but it's good to make sure you're adding the shading for that as well. For this, I'm going to make it more of a blue tone. And I'm also going to add some shadowing in this area as well. Might be a tad bit too dark. I'm also going to try to blend this out a little bit more. I might just keep the shading for the shoe area, considering she's more closer to the ground in those spots. But I'm definitely going to add some more shading underneath the rabbit. I could probably add a little bit more shading to her hand area. I do kind of like this blue color when it hits the grass. I might add some of that for shading as well. I just think it looks better than like a darker green. It definitely looks better. Alright, so I'm going to work on some more plants. I'm going to try to also work on this teacup area as well. I just feel like it's a little bit empty back in this area. I'm just gonna add a few more things. Let's see if we can look for something we can add. Alright, so we can probably add some bushes, maybe. I'm going to do that with a different color though. Might be a tad bit too solid of a color. I'm gonna make this just a tad bit transparent. Let's see how this color would look over here. Just gonna go back. I'm just experimenting a little bit on placements. I think we're going to take a little bit of a break on the scenery for right now. I did get a lot done. There is a little bit of other stuff I do have to add, considering there's a lot of solid colors. But I'm gonna work on the teacup. So for this, it's not really gonna be too much coloring, just a little bit of shading and stuff, at least for the teacup. Let me change my brush. How do you choose the colors you use? I don't really choose them. I kind of like when I'm starting off a drawing, if I see I'm using more muted down colors rather than brighter colors, then I'll just keep it at muted colors. Like this one is kind of mixed in a little bit brighter colors, like the sign and her dress a little bit with muted colors, but most of it's muted colors in this drawing. I kind of just go based off of whatever I'm doing. There's a difference between muted colors, which most people call those, there's cool tones and then there's warm tones. Most of the time I'm using warm tones, and I use a little bit of cool tones such as blues and purples for shadowing, but I just go based off of what I'm drawing. And sometimes I mix in brighter colors with muted toned colors, but it really just depends. I just go with it. I don't really have anything planned when I start drawing. Alright, I am done with the teacup. I'm going to start working on the tea spilling out. So I'm going to use I could do something like this, but I'm going to make it a tad bit darker. That could work. Alright, so we're going to use this color. I'm gonna delete or erase. I'm gonna erase some of the line work on this just so it's a little less visible. Alright. And this is going to be just a tad bit more light than this actual color because I'm going to add some highlights and stuff. I could probably go a little bit more transparent though. I do feel like this color is a little bit too dark, which is also what I was talking about earlier with cool tones and warm tones. Sometimes if you mix too many brighter tones with more muted tones, it tends to look more sloppy and it just doesn't look right. So sometimes it takes a few tries in order to get the correct color. But that's okay. I'm just going to keep experimenting with different colors until I find the right color for this. This color is almost perfect. We could probably use this color. That definitely looks a lot better than the other color. I think the other color was a little bit too dark. Just a little bit. I'm probably going to end the stream soon, but I'll be live again sometime tomorrow. Hopefully. If not, then the next day. But we are almost finished with this drawing, so we got a little bit of background noise here. It does look like it. I was going to make a joke that it kind of looked like turds, but it only looks like that now because it's like a solid color, but do have to fix this up a little bit, so I'm going to go back to my sketch layer. Just erase a little bit of that. Alright, so I'm going to add some highlights here. I'm going to overline this just a little bit. I do feel like the color somehow got a little bit lighter on this side. I don't know. I don't know if I should leave this concept. Maybe I should just leave the teacup. But I'm gonna see what it looks like without this, which I would have to go back to my sketch layer. I feel like it does look better that way. But I also feel like it's still something missing in there. I'll figure it out, but I'm going to also start on the background here, the sky specifically. So, what I like to do for clouds is I use a specific brush meant for clouds, obviously, but it makes it easier to draw the sky. I usually use this brush, I believe. Yeah, so I use this clouds brush, and I'm going to find a good color for the sky. It does take a minute to find the right color, considering I'm also going based off these colors, but I will find it. This might be a little bit too gray, sadly. We could do that color. I might just leave the sky out for a bit and work on some other things that I need to work on. Like, I do still feel that this area is a little bit too empty. And I also have this I need to fill in as well. So I'm gonna work on that. We'll do a brownish color. It's a little bit too dark there. I'm going to overline this just a little bit. Just feel like it's a little bit too light from afar away looking at it. So I'm just gonna line it. Just a tad bit. Nothing much. Yeah, it definitely looks a lot better. Alright guys, I did just a tad bit of work today, not too much work, but I think I'm going to leave it off at this. It wasn't really a long live stream, sadly, but maybe I'll be on again tomorrow. So yeah, this is what I have so far. It looks kind of solid on camera, but there is a little bit of texturing and down in this area mostly, which I do have to work on the top area a lot more, but this is what I have so far, and I'm just gonna leave it off at this for today.